Hi, I'm Graham Anderson and I'm in my greenhouse and I'm going to prepare my gladiola for the final storage for the winter. So these corms have been dried now for a few weeks in the radiator and they're nice and dry, and the cormlets peel off nice and easily. So these are ready to strip. When I planted these corms, I had a handful of sand, sharp sand below and above. So it means that the corms are relatively clean. So it makes this cleaning process quite easy. So now I basically going to peel the corm off. So I strip the outside husk off, and you see it's nice and dry. And I actually peel it all away till I got to this stage, and the bottom should come away quite easily. What I find useful is, if it's just a little bit resistance there, is to use a teaspoon and gently take the old corm, which is withered away on the bottom. So the old corm that this plant grew from last year is now done its job and it can just be disposed of. So you clean the bottom off, and I actually, if it's dry enough, this should come away easily at the top, and I'll peel away the husk. Now I can inspect the corm, and if I see any sign of disease, which might be like some black lesions or spotting or any kind of mould or whatever on them, then I would probably discard them. Now I actually find that although I look after them, probably maybe about 10% of the corms I would discard, and they wouldn't go into winter storage. But this one's fine. So I then transfer that onto a wire bottom tray, and then these are stored and racking in my loft, and they're stored in a sort of conditions, cool as a sort of cool, keep them above sort of 3 degrees centigrade. And I also have facilities that I can control the humidity. I've got dehumidifiers, and I try and keep the humidity about 60 or 70%. Now, if you're going to be storing your corms not in a cool environment, in a warmer environment, you may want to strip the corms just down to about this stage. And this is how you'll probably find them in the garden centre. Because if they're in a warm room and they're exposed, they may dry out. But the advantages of keeping them cool and being able to do this in a strip form, I think are worth doing this if you can keep them cool. You're also looking for disease, but also insects. The worst thing that you probably get insect wise is gladiolus thrips, and if you expose the corm, it means that there's nowhere for that thrip to overwinter. So if I did see any at this stage when I peel them, then you can dip the corms in insecticide and then dry them again, and put them into store. But fortunately I've not had that issue this year. So these boxes then go into my loft, and they're stacked on racks, and the boxes can be stored one on top of the other, and I keep monitoring them over the winter and look for any disease or pests regularly, at least once a week, and then wait for the spring, where hopefully I can plant out my gladiola to flower next season. Thank you for watching this video, and wish you success with your gladioli corms.